भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, we have completed the study of the Prathama Mundaka, consisting of 22 verses divided in 2 sections. The main theme of those 22 shlokas or verses, which comprises the first Mundaka, are these few items of thought. The first is, what is the authenticity of this teaching? You are talking about something which is beyond our normal concepts of perception. And you say, this is this, this is this, this is this. Is it a woolly-headed idea of very fertile human brain, or there is some authority and authenticity behind it? The answer is, these words of wisdom which we find in the Upanishads is a direct emanation from the divine, from the Lord God of the universe to his children, the human, through a selected few who had disciplined themselves and sharpened and honed and polished their personality to such an extent that God could speak through them to all of us. So the first question is the question about the authenticity and authority. That has been explained. Second question was, who is qualified to expose oneself to this study? Who is qualified? And he says, a person whose father's name was Shunaka, he being Shunaka's son, he was known as Shaunaka. He was a highly successful from the worldly point of view as a human being. Mahashala Shaunaka. Mahashala is the word. Mahashala means a man of great achievement, physically, emotionally, rationally, success-wise, wealth-wise, reputation-wise. He was the top of the society as it was. He is known as Mahashala Shaunaka. Though he is such a successful person in this world, in worldly manner and senses, he always had that introspection within him. What is it all about? This world, this tertiary education, this worldly education, this ambition and aspiration and striving to reach a successful conclusion, everything in its proper place. What does it lead me to? Where does it lead me to? What is the goal that I achieve? That means, however involved, however successful you may be, please do not spare yourself to continuously ask, who am I? What am I? What am I born for as a human? Never stop questioning this. Who am I? What am I? What for am I born as a human being, the most evolved of all biological creatures? Is there any other goal than enjoying all that the world can give me? Is there anything else? These are the basic, general prerequisites of pursuing Brahma Vidya, Para Vidya, the sublime knowledge. The rest is indispensable, but not the ultimate, the sublime. There is a sublime knowledge which also is open to you for you to study and for you to know. So Shaunaka, with this attitude, he goes to a rishi. Rishi is Kranta Darshi. That means a person who has experienced the last truth, the reality that there's one absolute known as the Brahman. And he has not only intellectually conceived about it, his intellectual conviction is rock solid, crystal clear. But he has experienced that. How? I am that. This is my true original nature. He is a rishi. The rishi of this Upanishad, so-called author of this Upanishad, is Rishi Angirasha. He goes to that rishi to ask, sir, is there anything experiencing which my thirst for knowing and experiencing will be satisfied once for all, forever? Is there anything? He asks from a common sense point of view. In this world, there is no end to our desire. However successful we may be, we strive for something more. There is no end to our desires, expectations from this world. Is there anything when this desire and expectation is fully satiated, satisfied, and I am poised in the magnificence, in the excellence and the majesty of my own true being? Is there anything like that? That was the talk of the town in those days, not as of today. In those days, that was the culture. So as a product of that culture, he went and asked him. And the rishi, looking through and through his attitude and his personality, knew here is a person who is now fully qualified to study that subject known as subject of sublime wisdom. Para vidya vishaya. Vishaya is subject and para vidya is sublime knowledge which leads to experience. And the rishi starts teaching him. I have repeated it many a times, but this is the introduction. And rishi told him that, look, my dear child, you are absolutely right. There are two branches of knowledge open to a human being. One branch of knowledge is appertinent to, related to the whole world. What does it mean? All that human culture, human civilization has achieved since the dawn of civilization to today falls under the category of mundane knowledge, worldly wisdom, worldly knowledge. And the knowledge brings in results, all appertaining to the world. Any branch of knowledge appertaining to this cosmos is tertiary knowledge, is apara vidya. Apara means not so. Para means sublime. It is not so sublime, but is indispensable, and it is the engine of human progress and civilization. Don't look down upon it. Being a student of Upanishad, I don't want to do it. No. Why? Because the world is the manifestation of that divine. That is what you have to learn. There's nothing that you exclude and reject and throw away. It is an integrated whole. So please, when I use the word na para apara vidya, that is not so sublime knowledge, don't think it is trash, it has to be thrown out. No, dear. That is the foundation of all progress that human civilization, human society has achieved up till now, in the process of achieving, and will continue to achieve till two people walk on this earth. That is its importance. And then he says, there's another branch of knowing. What is that? Paravidya, sublime knowledge. Having experience to which your thirst for knowledge, your desire to knowing, your sense of insufficient inadequacy, that I acquire, I will be full. This is a knowledge which will give you a sense of total fulfillment, beyond which there is no desire left. Yaya tat aksharam adhigamyate. He says, and then he defines, what is that? That knowledge by means of which, yaya, by means of which that immutable, that infinite, that eternal, that absolute, you become one with that. Adhipurvak gamadhatu adhigamyate. What does it mean? In the slow process of self-education, in a well-disciplined, controlled manner, you slowly and slowly be and become one with that. Jaya, by means of which it is the process of knowing and understanding and experiencing. This process of knowing, understanding and experiences doesn't lead to subject and object knowledge. It leads to the knowledge of the eternal subject. Who am I? What am I? That is the sublime knowledge, and a human being with Shaunaka's background is fully qualified to achieve that. And having achieved that, we see that it is not eternal, it is not absolute, it is a cycle of birth, life, death, life in the heavens, coming back again, birth, life, death, heaven. You keep all circulating through. You're spending your lifetime. You do not know whether you will be born a human again or not. And this human life, this extremely precious life, envy for the gods, Deva Durlabha Janma. This human life is envy of the gods. Why? The gods are enjoying their sukriti, their good deeds, and a human is creating his result. He can create by wiping out the darkness from his vision, and he knows and sees and experiences his true original nature. It's a process, adhigamyate means a process of being and becoming, a process of evolution. That is, you are a most evolved human being. You are successful in the world in the worldly terms, from worldly consideration, but there is another success waiting for you. That is para, vidya, vishaya, the subject matter of that sublime knowledge, identifying your own true, majestic, true original nature. We have completed the first Mundaka, the apara vidya vishaya. We have completed the study of the apara vidya vishaya, what it promises, what it gives you, where it fails you. Now he has started the second Mundaka. And the second Mundaka is dedicated to give you a clear-cut idea of what is para vidya vishaya. What is the subject matter of the sublime knowledge? Now the question is, dear, this introduction that I told you last time, I will repeat again today and then go forward. This introduction is extremely necessary, is essential. Why? Because this introduction will be the foundation, the starting point of the rocket taking you upwards. Therefore, the introduction has to be properly known and understood. What is that introduction? The introduction is, you are told it is infinite, it is eternal, it is immutable, it is absolute. All these four words take me away, as it were, from worldly definitions. It doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a form, it doesn't have qualities, it doesn't have any utilitarian value. How can I make it perceptible? How can I make it conceivable if I have nothing to hold back upon? Why? Because I have my 5 sense organs. I know and experience by seeing. That is, I am the knower, the experiencer, the seer, and you are my object of knowledge. So I and you, we are two distinct, different entities, and that is my process of knowing works in human body. You have a name, you have a form, you have qualities, you have utilitarian value, which is perceptible, concretely, tangibly. So for me to live in this world with my 5 sense organs, my intellect, my rationality, my emotionality, my willpower, with all that, I feel quite comfortable in this world. And you are telling me that the Paravidya Vishaya is beyond the world. It has no name, it has no form, it has no this, it has no quality, it has no shape or size, it is absolute, immutable, and you conceive. That's very irrational to me. What type of a teacher are you? That you are talking to me in a manner which I am not capable of understanding. What is all this fun and frolic? Be practical and tell me, how do I understand it? This is the basic question in the mind of a student. You say, this Paravidya is that Jaya, you can experience that Akshara. Akshara, translated in English, is immutable, infinite, eternal, absolute. All those 4 words means nothing to me. And you are saying that is the learning that I am going to teach you. Please be fair. How is it possible? So the challenge of the teacher is, a student is totally embedded in, totally involved with the world. And the world, to our knowledge and our understanding, stands on 4 pillars: Nama, Rupa, Guna, Artha, Kriya, Karitya. None of those 4 are applicable there. And you try to learn it. What is this madness? Therefore, a student has 3 problems. He knows, I am, I exist, and I am the knower, I am the learner, I am the student, I am the seer, I am the hearer, I am the smeller, I am the toucher, I am the taster. And conglomerating all that, amalgamating all that, I know. That's it. But who am I? What am I? I am aware I am. That means I am aware I exist. But when you ask me, who are you? And I, with all conviction, throw my passport at you and say, you find out who am I. This is my name, this is my parentage, this is my place of birth, this is my time of birth, and this is what I am today. All rotating around this body. And the great fun is, I never say I body, I say my body. I am totally distinct from my body. This is my body, this is my mind, this is my life, this is my emotion, my rationality, this is my ego. All of them are mine. I am. Who is that I am? Though you continue to say my body, my mind, my life, my emotion, my rationality, my ego, but somehow or other you are messed up with it. This is where we are. And the teacher's problem is to lift you from this quagmire, lift you from this quicksand where you are always sinking. He has to lift you out of it and give you an idea what is your true original nature. So for me, dear, I am, the world is, and out of sheer respect to my Rishi teacher, the knower, I believe, sir, you say there is something known as Atman, When looked subjectively, internally, it is Atman. And when we looked at as the essence of the world, it is Brahman. Sir, I believe you, I have good faith in you, I understand what you say. It does not click here. Could you help me out? This is how, dear, this second Mundaka starts. He starts with an example. Example is an excellent teacher. The example is in a world where you live in. So you'll immediately say yes. And the teacher will exemplify this example, exemplifies this idea of mine. Now, from the example, you reach the exemplification. That is the purpose of an example. Yasmin arte buddhisamyam sadrishtanta. Let me find out an example where your attitude and thinking, my attitude and thinking coalesces together. Then the example becomes a best teacher. The second Mundaka, first chapter, starts with an example. Tadetat satyam. Now, dear, I am telling you, I am placing before you the real truth, the reality. What is that reality? You imagine a blazing fire. A blazing fire, and wind is blowing. Thousands and thousands of sparks come out of that fire. The blazing fire is one, and the sparks are in thousands. But as numerically, the blazing fire is one, and numerically, the sparks are in thousands. That is, quantitatively, one and thousands. But essentially and qualitatively, both are fires. The blazing fire has the capacity to burn a township in a twinkling of an eye. A bushfire, wild forest fire. The capacity is to burn it in a twinkling of an eye. And the spark is also a fire, but it can only make a hole in my shirt sleeve. When the spark falls here, a small little hole takes place. Both of them are fire. Agreed? The capacity to burn is different, but essentially they are the same. Qualitatively, quality-wise, essentially they are fire. Brahman, the supreme being, the supreme element, is one. Immeasurable. How do we measure? By time and by space. There is no time and space, it is beyond that. Therefore, it is immutable and absolute. So now let us read the shloka. Yatha sudiptad vishpulinga sahasrasa spulinga sahasrasa pravavanti Jatha Sudipta Pavakat Vishwalinga. Sudipta is well aflame. Pavaka is fire. Vishwalinga, sparks, come out in thousands. Where do they come from? From that fire. And they are fire, but various in number. Why? They are now limited by space and time. And they come out of the fire. And they go back to nature. Khiti, Aptej, Marudbam, the fire, 5 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. They go back. Fire goes back to fire. When it's conglomerated, we see the flame of the fire. When it is not conglomerated, it is in its elemental nature. Tatha, this is an example. From that absolute, Vividha Sobhya Bhava, this cosmic diversity of the cosmos comes out of it and goes back. This is the first lesson, how to conceive of that absolute. This is here. In the Mundaka Upanishad, in sequence of this thinking, there's another Upanishad where this is much more clear. What is that? A student is being said, that is from that Akshara Brahma, that immutable, absolute, all-extensive being known as Brahman, this whole world has manifested itself. And it goes back to it again. I don't understand properly. So what do? I don't understand properly. So teacher finds out an example. The teacher takes the student to a potter's art gallery. A potter who has a potter's wheel, a pot of soft clay, and he creates things from earth, soil, clay. What do you see? Oh dear me, sir, thousands of things, different shape, different size, different names, different qualities, and different utilitarian value. What is that? It is a cup, it's a pot, it's a jar, it's a huge jar, it's a plate, it's a small plate, it's a curved tea plate, and it's a huge thali, a huge plate. All are different. So, you are now involved in seeing the difference between one and the other. And the difference is size, shape, name, qualities, and its utilitarian value. How they are useful to the humans. Get me a stick, my dear. So this child goes and gets a stick. Break them down. He breaks them down. Now what do you see? Sir, nothing but pots of clay. So remember, the clay is from which these have come out. And now you have broken the size and the shape along with the name, utilitarian value and quality has disappeared. What remains? The clay from which it came out, into which it has gone back. That is, Bacharambhanam Vikaranavadeyam Anritam Mrittika iti eva satyam. This is the formula. What is it? Bacha and Arambhana. Name and the form that we give to them. they are all not real. Comparatively, the reality is that pot of clay from which the potter has created all this, and when you dry it, they become terracotta pots and etc. When you break it, the name and form and utilitarian value disappears. They are unrhythm, unreal, not everlasting. What is lasting is the pot of clay. This is an example. Now, with that example, like the clay from which all that has appeared, the whole gallery of potter's arts, all that has come from a soft pot of clay with the intelligence of the Creator, imagination of the Creator, he plays with it and creates it. And ultimately, it becomes clay again. This is an example. Now, the potter is that sublime intelligence, Sharbhaga Sampanna Bhagavan. Jnana, Aishwarya, Bala, Virya, Teja, Shakti, the 6 aspects of the divine, of infinite measure. He creates this world out of himself. How? Remember the example of a spider given before. Spider does not go to a supermarket to buy threads. It creates it from itself. He absorbs it within himself. The spider and the fire put together, he gives you an idea. There's an eternal being of infinite qualities, 6 different qualities required for creation. He creates it, he maintains it, and he withdraws it. This is the concept of the Absolute. What an Absolute? The Absolute in a little lower form as a creator. The utmost level is the Absolute as an Absolute. Nirgun, Nirakar, Nirvikalpa, Brahma. That is experienceable, not describable. Through your management of yourself, your ego, your personality, your faculties, you slowly and slowly graduate yourself to control your mind, to hold it at one point, and you hold it so deeply for such a prolonged period of time, without any interruption, without any break, without any disturbance. What is happening? Your whole personality, your chitta, is being saturated with that idea. And you come to that level of oneness with the divine Lord God of the universe. And you see him everywhere. And then the next stage is you concentrate on the Absolute. Satta, Chetana, Anand. Sat Chit Ananda Swarup. You concentrate, never to be back again. Jasmin Gatva na nivartanti bhuya. Having reached which, the question of returning again does never arise. You are merged with the ocean. You will never come back as a river again. It's ocean and ocean. So here this example, dear, is followed up by various Upanishads in various manners. Here, Urnanabhi and Sudipta Pavaka. These are the 2. Going ahead, you'll have further examples. They are the best teachers for a subject about which you have no world of idea. Examples will clarify those. we have read this shloka. Therefore, concluding from that immutable Brahman, it comes a stage lower, and he is the creator, preserver, destroyer of this world. You merge to that. Now, he will go ahead with describing to you the absolute nature of Brahman. And see how he is playing with words. The words, when properly used, explodes into a meaning. And when you collate those meanings, you have a vague, imaginative idea of what is being taught. Your concept of things are improving. Listen to the second shloka of the second Mundaka, first chapter. What does he say? Divya hi amurta purushaha. Divya. Each and every word has a meaning, and we will put the meaning together at the end of the study. Divya is Dyotanavan, pure effulgence, light. And the source of light is, for us, the sun. And in the Sridharananda Upanishad, there is a section known as Jyotir Brahmana. What are the material sources of light? Please allow me to divert a little. Divya, Dotanaban, effulgence, pure effulgence. Now, the Jyotir Brahmana is a question and answer between the teacher and the taught. What is the source of luminosity and effulgence, my dear child? The teacher asks. Why, sir? The sun. That is true. The source of light is the sun. Oh, is that so? Ramav Astamite, when the sun sets. Astamite means when the sun sets. What is the source of your light? Why, sir? The moon. But there is a dark night of the moon, the new moon night. What is your source of light? Why, sir? The stars. If it is all clouded over, you don't see the stars. What is your source of light? Sir, the fire. Oh, and if I don't allow you to light the fire, what is your source of effulgence? It scratches. Sir, the jugnus, those insects which has some chemical in the phosphorus in their body, it wipes. The night flies, which has light in them. There are caves where millions of them, and a night cave looks like a daylight cave. That's happening. There are caves in Thailand and other places. People go to see those. Now he says, what is effulgence? Where the darkness of your knowing is removed. You see the effulgence, says that is light. But who is enlightening that light, awareness that is light? That awareness is in you. I see everything. What is lightening up? My awareness. That is the effulgence. Your true original nature, Sat Swarup, Chit Swarup, Ananda Swarup, Atma. That is the subject matter of Para Vidya Vishaya. So he is now giving you an example and defining it through words. Divya, Jyotanaban, effulgence. That effulgence is not outside. It is the awareness that is within you. Awareness of I am, awareness of the world is. Isness and amness is the same idea. Awareness of existence, subjectively and objectively. Divya, that element, para vidya vishaya, that eternal subject, is awareness personified. True, pure awareness. I am aware, I am. That awareness is my true original nature, which is the true essence of the cosmos, the Brahman, Divya. Next, He means, by all means, it is a conviction that you have to develop. The light is only an instrument, but the light is here, the awareness, Chetana, consciousness, awareness. That is the cause and source of your knowledge, not this light. You don't acquire knowledge when it is dark, soundless, smellless, odorless, and everything. Only you are aware, I am. The world ceases to exist for you. This awareness is the awareness of that eternal para vidya vishaya, the sublime element. He means a nishchaye. Have no doubt about it, no ambiguity about it. That is Divya, He. Purusha. This is the secret. He does not ask you to look up in the heavens and the skies and all over the cosmos to find out, where do I find Him, where do I find Him. Puri Shayanat Purnatvad Va Purusha. His seat is at the core of your being. Puri Shayanat Purnatvad Va Purusha. He is at the core of your being, residing within yourself. How? This awareness of I am is nothing else but the awareness of Brahman. And I, like a stupid ass, I have separated myself from Him and I think I am something different. No, dear, He is within you and He is all permeating, all saturating, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, the Brahman, the Divine. Divya, He Amurta. He has no shape, no size, no form. But He is, and you are aware of His existence. Divya, He Amurta Purusha. Sabhajya Abhyantara Aja. You are aware of Him within yourself, I am, and you are aware of Him. He is. He has become this whole world, both inwards and outwards, introvertly and extrovertly. He is, and I am aware He exists. I exist, He exists. Divya, He Amurta, Purusha, Sabhajya Abhyantara. Bhajya is external, Abhyantara is internal. Ajaha, birthless. Time has no effect on it. He was not born on such and such a day, such and such a time. He is eternal. He is infinite. Sabhajya Abhyantaraja. Apranaha. Amana. Sudram. Aprana, he doesn't have the life forces which tells me I am alive, I am Kriya Shaktiman, I have that creative energy known as life in me. He doesn't have all that. He is just pure, essential existence, awareness, and ecstatic bliss. Sat Sarup, Chit Sarup, Ananda Sarup, Atma, Sat Sarup, Chit Sarup, Ananda Sarup, Brahman. So he is aprana, avana. He does not have those faculties of emotion and of rationality. He is aprana, avana. Therefore, subhra. Subhra is whiteness, purity. Unpolluted, unadulterated, pure. Aksharat parataha paraha. He is beyond that immutable Ishvara. You understand me? He is beyond that immutable Ishvara as a root cause. He is beyond that cause. That is the Vishaya, the subject matter of Savikalpa Samadhi and the subject matter of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. These are the words, they are being coined and joined together. Why? What for? To give you a vague imaginary idea, a vague imaginary concept of who you are, what you are. First concentrate here, and more you concentrate here, more you get rid of your adjuncts, more you get rid of your ignorant identities, the more you become expansive, and ultimately you become one with the whole cosmos. Aksharat parataha paraha. It is beyond that casual state which is the cause of this diversity. That cause is also known as an aspect of the divine, phenomenal, Ishvara, and beyond that is Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvikalpa Brahma. Without any qualities, without any form, without any mutation, it is. Nothing can you say. And that isness is experienceable, not describable. These are the words which are pointing towards something. As I told you in the last discussion, the concept of Tatastha Lakshana, a long high tree, and the creek flows below the trunk, just adjacent to the trunk. You are at an upper altitude covered with forest and growth, vegetation. You don't see. The teacher says, see the top of that tall tree, go down straight. Where the trunk hits the soil, the water creek flows by the trunk. You are giving an idea without seeing it. By hearing, you get it. Similarly, by hearing these words, a concept is being created in us that what is my true original nature is, and what is the true original nature of the Absolute. Thank you, dears, thank you. We are in an area where it is very novel, very new, and something which our faculties are not used to appreciate. Therefore, dears, it will be difficult for the first time. But more we repeat, more we get at home with these subtle ideas, more we will be poised in the majesty, the excellence, the magnificence of our true original nature, not the nature which makes us a victim of circumstances, swinging like the pendulum between pleasure and pain. We'll come out of it. The effort is to teach us how to concentrate our ideas to these very subtle words and their meaning, and we aggregate them, conglomerate them, accumulate them, and expose ourselves to those ideas. The more frequently, repetitively, willfully, determinedly we do, the better for us. Better for us, quicker for us to achieve it. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much. We meet again in our next session. Thank you.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.